Hello everyone, this is Alex from alexlancer.com, and in previous tutorials we already covered controllers, routes and views. So now it is time to get to our models. Let's get started. I will turn to my screen and first of all I will close all the tabs that we have opened so far because I want to start clean, and let me collapse all the folders that we have opened also. So here we are. So what are model files? In MVC, so Model View Controller Pattern Design, models are the files that are responsible for working with database. So whenever we need to insert or delete or update our data in the database, we are using model files. So CodeIgniter provides us with two types of models, and the first type is the type of model that actually extends an existing model class from CodeIgniter, and it provides us with some very helpful methods. And the second type of models is, let's say, it's independent model that we create ourselves, and we create our own methods inside there, and we can structure it any way we like. So let's get started by creating the first type of model, the CodeIgniter's model. So here on the side I have also, on another screen, I have opened the documentation from CodeIgniter so that I can copy paste some basic configuration for the model. And let's go to our models folder, create a new file, and let's call this file, so we have created so far a blog, so let's call it a blog model. So we have blog model.php, and I will paste the code that I have copied from CodeIgniter's documentation page, and I will rename this to our blog model. So we have a couple of things here that we must see and understand. So first of all, we have to specify whenever we extend the CodeIgniter's model class, whenever we extend this class here, we must specify a certain fields. So the required ones are the table. So the table will be, let's say, posts. So the primary key will be post ID. We will create a database in a little bit. So these fields are not required. Any of these fields are not. So why I'm not selecting them? Yeah, so let's let's comment them for now. So the table, the primary key and allowed fields are the required parameters for this model to function correctly. So, and the allowed fields are the list of fields that can be manipulated from an outside class. So let's say here we will specify only the fields that will be updated, let's say, from a user's form. For instance, a user will never update the primary key of the post, or the user also will not update the created date of the post. Some of the fields will be generated automatically, and we don't want to allow user to access them. So therefore we create the allowed fields array. And in our case it will be a post title, it will be a post content, let's say. And what else do we have? So okay, I think for now that's fine. We don't need nothing else. So just by creating this model, this immediately gives us access to all the CRUD methods that we need for our database. So, for example, let's go to our controllers. Let's see what we have here. So we have a blog controller. Okay. So what we can delete. Let's not delete anything. Let's just create public function new. Public function new. So here we will create our form to create a new blog post. So let's go to view. Let's name it new post. We don't have any data here specified, or actually let's specify also data, because we have some meta titles to take care of. So this will be our new post, and the title create new post. We will use our layouts here that we have created before. So let's add a new file to our views folder. Let's go new file, so new post.php. And if you have followed the previous tutorial, you will remember that we have created our blog view. Let's just copy all of this and bring it inside our new post. So this section content okay, wait, yeah, let's grab it all. I didn't copy the whole blog.php code. So now we extend our layout main, this section content, and this part here we can remove it. So let's say we have our div with a class of col12, or actually, yeah, let's make it 12, and let's just make it a little bit smaller on large screens. So we'll say MD8 and offset MD2. Okay, so this will center our form. So somewhere I had this the snippets for Bootstrap. So let's create a form, bform. Anyway, let's go. Bform post action will be. I think we can use the same method. This new method here. So it will be blog new. So let's add here form group. Don't need IDs for now. So let's say this will be the title. The name will be post title. Again, let's create a B form group for our text area. Also we will use B text area. Okay, sorry, let me remove that and again use this snippet. Awesome. So the name will be post content, and let's create a submit button. So this will be our button class btn success create, and let's make it not very big, so let's make it button small. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, so we have our title and our content here available. So now if we submit this form, let's give it, I will use the form filler that I have the plugin and extension here in Chrome. So I will use this, I will create, so nothing happens at this point. But if we go to our blog controller and our new method, and we say that if this request get method equals post, and this request is accessible through any controller. So we can say that if the form is actually submitted, then we can go and simply create an instance of our model that we have created, our blog model, by saying model equals new. And to avoid writing all the fully qualified path to our model, I will use here blog model, but of course it is not accessible right now because we have to specify it here before we initiate the class, instantiate the class. So we have to say here use app models and blog model. So by adding this line here, we can use new blog model without specifying the full path, because we might use this blog model in many methods inside of our controller. So it is a good thing to specify the use on the top, and then we can easily keep our code cleaner. So once we have instantiated the new model, new blog model class, so now we can say that model save or we can use save, and there is also another similar method, index, and I will show you the difference. So we have this save method that is provided by the CodeIgniter model that we extend. So we can pass here our post data. So before, of course, we can post our data, we have to create our database that we did not create yet. So let's go and create one. Let's go to localhost phpMyAdmin. Let's create our first CI4 database. So we still don't have any tables, so let's create one. The first one will be not blogs, let's say posts. So we have posts. Let's run it. So the first thing that we'll have will be the ID, then we will have post title, then we will have a post description. I want to add a few more fields here. So let's give it a post created at, post updated at, and post deleted at also. So now let's change the file type, the field types. So this will be a varchar of 255. This will be our text field. The dates will be date, time, types, all of them. And of course, let's set our post ID to auto increment. And let's save this. So now we have created our post table. So if we go back to our blog.php, one more thing that we have to do, if you didn't do that already, we have to change the properties of our env file. So in the very first tutorial of this series, I've shared with you that you must duplicate the env file that is provided by CodeIgniter whenever you whenever you download the project from Composer. So you simply duplicate this file and you rename it by adding a dot in the beginning. So it should be .env, as I have this file here. So if you didn't do that from the first tutorial that we had, don't forget to uncomment the CI environment line and set and change the production to development, and also uncomment the app base URL and add your URL. In my case it is localhost, so add your URL here also. Don't forget the trailing slash at the end. So now if we go further down, we will see this database section here. So what I want to change is database default group. And I will change this. So the host name is localhost. Our database name is first CI4. Username root. Password is empty in my case. And save. Nothing else we have to change here. So let's go back to our blog new. And let's see again if we submit again our form. So now we get a connection error. So let me see, unknown column post content. So post content is an unknown column. Maybe I did a typo. Yeah, post description. So let me rename this post description to post content and resubmit the form. Okay, so it looks that the form has been submitted without any errors. And let's go and see. Here as you can see here, the post is created. So let's try and retrieve this post now. How we can do this using a model. So we will come back to our post function here that we had above, and we will add one new parameter here that will be the ID. So by providing this ID, we will be able to find our model. Sorry, our post in the database. So let's start here above and say that we have our model, new blog model, and now we want to retrieve a post. So to do that, let's set a post variable, and we will say that post variable equals to model find ID. So now we can use this. Of course, let's check first of all if post exists. So if post let's say if post, then let's set this data here. So we have meta title. We will set our post title. Let's set the same value for the h1 tag here that we have. So if post else, let's for now create a different set of data that will be post not found. So let's go to our blog post 1. This is the single post page. Okay, we believe you. Let me check. So view single post. View single post. So here we are. Okay, we did not. Let's copy here inside also our layout setup. So I will copy the HTML from new post, and I want to change everything that is inside of our I will remove our form, and actually let's remove all of this, and let's just add a paragraph and echo out the title. Yeah, let's leave it as it is just to see if the content is being displayed. So if we refresh now, we're getting this Latin name. So let's see if this name is indeed this post title for the post ID of ID 1. So this, it looks like it is. So another thing that we can do using our post model, our blog model, is of course we can easily delete the methods, delete the posts only just by providing a single line of code. So let's create first of all a method to delete a post. So let's go here and let's say public function delete. Also let's create an ID, let's require an ID, and here we will say that let's instantiate also the model, find model. So only in case we find this post, so if post, then let's use this model to delete ID that was specified. And then of course we have to redirect somewhere. So let's redirect to so let's first of all let's return the redirect, and then we say redirect and arrow. We add an arrow and we say to, and to will be our blog. So let's create now somewhere a button to delete a post. So let's go to the post view page. So we have new, we have post. So let's go to single post view, and under the title, let's add a button with a class of btn danger, delete. Yeah, not exactly like that. Let's make it a link, and let's give for this link blog delete, and we don't have the ID here that we want to specify. So what we have to do, we have to go back here, and we need to pass, I think we need to pass all of this post, all this post object inside of our data so that we can access it inside of our view. So now that we have added that, we can use it by using post ID. So now we will have a dynamic ID here. So what I was typing here, okay, like that. Let's go to our post. Okay, so we have now this button, and let's try to delete the post. Okay, so we have returned back to our home page. Let's check this, and as you can see, our posts have been deleted. Let's take a closer look at some other options that we have in our model. So the ones that I wanted to point out are these three options here, properties here. So we can automatically say to CodeIgniter model to use timestamps, so it will automatically update the created add and updated add fields. We just have to specify what are these fields. So in my case, it was not created add, it is a post created add. So same goes for post updated add. And now if we go and create a new post, let's go again to new, again using my validation my form filler, and if I check for the posts, you can see that post created add and post updated add have been provided with a value. So in case we will update this post, the post updated add value will automatically change to the date that it's been updated, but the post created created add will remain the same. So let's go and see how we can update our post. Once we added our post, I think it should be an ID of 2. Yeah, so let's go and let's see, blog post 2. Near our delete button, let's add also an update button. So let's go to single post. Let's create this button primary. Let's say edit, blog edit, and now we have to add also this method inside of our blog controller. So what we will do here, new, do we need a new file here? Yeah, let's copy this method, the new method, and let's add it below. So let's make it an edit. Let's give it an ID. So once we start editing a post, first of all, we have to get the data of this post. So the current data of this post from the database. So let's copy these 2 lines of codes here. And once we found this post, we want to pass it to our edit function here. So let's add it like that. Let's change the meta title, of course, to post title. Same goes here. And I'm aware that I'm not passing any validation here because this is not the tutorial about validation, if you are wondering. So this tutorial is just simply to show you how we can use different methods of the model class. So this is how we pass the information here. And when we will get the method request, because we will have also the post ID specified, the data will be updated. So let's just change the new post to edit post. like that. And let's duplicate our new post and make it an edit post. So now we have to fill out our values that we have here. So we could use post title, and of course we have our post content. So let's fill out the values here. So we have our post title, and here we have our post content. And let's change the button to update and the action to edit. What method did we give here? So yeah, edit slash. Also, let's pass here the ID of the post that we are editing. So blog edit, and actually we don't need to specify anything. We can delete it because it should be submitted to itself. Yeah, so we can leave it like that. Okay, let's check this out. So if we refresh this page, we have this edit. We go to edit, we can see our post values. And if we click update, let's check if anything has changed. So as you can see, instead of updating the post, CodeIgniter actually created the post. And the reason for that is that if you want to update a post using the save method, we have to make sure that the post, that the data actually, that the array data that we provide to the save method includes the primary key. So what we can say here is our post array. So the primary key of the post will be post ID equals to our ID that we pass through URL. And once we do that, you will see that, let's change now. This is a new title and a new description. So let's update. Yeah. So it has updated inside the database, but let's see why did it return inside here the old results. So if we refresh, I think the problem is because we're getting the old data, then we update the data and we don't get the new data back again. So that's the issue here. So if we want to update, if we want to get the new data, then we have to specify again the post. We should find again the post or use the post data that was submitted. And actually, instead of adding here the post data, we should add it at the later stage, at this point, saying this post equals post, like that. So this is how we use the simple CRUD methods inside of CodeIgniter for model. Another useful feature of CodeIgniter model is the events, model events that we can use. So what are model events? For example, we have a model event that is named that we can specify by setting up a protected variable here and saying before insert. So before insert, now we can add here an array, and let's say check name. So what this before insert does is every time you try to every time you are going to insert something, this method that you will have to create, of course. So we create public function check name will be executed. So this check name method will get as a parameter array data. So this is the data that is being submitted, or whichever available data is existing at this particular moment. So you can say that, for instance, if it is a check name, you can say that data, then you have to specify again the data key of the array, and then you can find, let's say, your post title. So let's say that the new title equals data post title, and let's add extra features. So, and now what we have to do is, of course, take this post title and give it a new title that we just created, and then we return the data. So now the data that will be submitted to the database will have these extra features at the end. The available events are the before insert, after insert, then we have before update and after update. We have also after find and after delete. So these are the available events that CodeIgniter model uses. I will not go through all of them. I hope you understand the flow, how it goes, and when you will be using it. So another good example is whenever a user, if you have a user model and a user tries to update its password. So you could say that before insert or before update, always hash the password. So you would name it as a hash password, this callback here, and then you would create a public function. Yeah, okay, it is late, guys, sorry. So public function hash password. Again, we have array data. Of course, this is for a users table, just as an example, I'm showing this to you. So we would have here data, we would have a password, and we would use a password hash that is provided by password function that is provided by PHP. So we have password hash. We would take this password data again, and we would use just as an algorithm password default. Yeah, like that. And then you would return your new data object. And this would hash password automatically without the need to worry about it. So let's remove this function here that we don't need. Let's add the check name back here. And that's all regarding CodeIgniter 4 model. Now we can create our own models without the need to specify to be tied to the specific table or primary key. So these are also the models that, let's go to our model and create new file. Let's say custom model.php. Let's give it a name, namespace also app models, class custom model, and now we can start creating our queries inside here. So for instance, let's create one query here, function get posts, for example here. So the difference here will be we want to join now our posts with some users, let's say with authors. So first of all, let's go to our table. Just for an example, let's add some privileges. So where we go, structure, and after post content, let's add post author. So this will be an integer and this will be the user's ID. So let's go and create a user table. Let's create a user ID. Also give it an auto increment, email, password. This will be all varchar 255, and let's create user created add few more fields, and let's say user updated add. Also let's make this date time and date time again. So this will be our users table. The name will be users. Okay, so now we have our two tables. Let's quickly create here one user just by inserting it. So let's give it a name of test@test.com. Password will be test. Of course, it is unhashed, no problem for now. And use. Okay, let's use current date, and go. Okay, so we have our user one here. Let's go back to our post and let's edit our author and say this will be user one and this also will be user one. So now if we want to join our table, we can do it by using our own model. But before we do that, we have to specify the database connection that we will use inside of our model. So we go use CodeIgniter database, and we will use connection interface. So by specifying this connection interface here, we can pass it now inside. We have to create a construct method here, and also we have to define the DB variable here that will be protected. So let's say protected DB. Now let's create a public function construct, and now we will get the connection interface, not the database, just connection interface. Why did it add it like that? So with connection interface, and we will get the reference of the DB instance here. So we have this DB equals and DB. So now we can use the query builder class to start building our queries. It is called builder because we can use a step-by-step method to generate our result. So for example, let's initiate our builder by saying builder equals this DB, and first we define the table of the DB that we want to use. So the table will be, let's say, we will start from our posts. Now, simply if we would want to return everything from our post, we would say, let's say, not query, let's say posts equals builder get. And this would return all the posts from our table. But there is no point in this method, because we could do the exactly same thing inside of the CodeIgniter model. So why we would use this custom model here? So the reason is, here we are more flexible a little bit, because we can use also joins, for example. So let's say builder join. So what we want to join? We want to join users, and we want to join them post author ID equals on users user ID. So now this post, so return post. So let's add also a semicolon here. Now let's use get posts on our blog model, on our blog controller. First of all, let's import our model here. So we say app model, app model custom model, and inside of our index method here, let's see. So we have model new custom model, and let's just print R and see what will happen. So we have model get posts. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's go to our blog. Too few arguments to function, custom model. Okay, so something wrong with the connection interface. And of course we have to pass our DB here, DB connect, pass it here, and let's test now. So unknown column post author ID. So what was post author? So it is not post author ID. Let's go to our custom model, change this, and let's try again. Okay, so here we get the connection result, and the reason for that is basically because we have to add get posts or actually let's change it inside the model, get result. So now we are getting our posts joined together with our users with our users table. So in this video you saw how you can create two types of models, and you can use any one you like or anyone that suits your needs in a better way. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next tutorial, guys.